Patrick in Lakeville. What's going on, man? Vikings dominate the Falcons today. 1-0.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. First-time caller, long-time listener. I mean, I think when I look at this, the job of the offense is to move the ball efficiently. When I look at this offense, I think Mark Rippon, I think Trent Dilfer. You have to run the ball. You have to play good, solid defense. You can't throw it around every second and try and move the ball. Your job is to score points and move it efficiently. So I love the way that we look today. I love the way that we took care of the football. I want to hang up and listen. I want to say, Skol Vikings. Let's go.
Right on. All right, Patrick in Lakeville there. And if you want to jump into 651-646-8255 on Dalvin Cook, just to keep the Dalvin Cook thread going here, I said this to you during halftime vent line on our Twitter account at Score North. I think the only thing preventing him from being on that Le'Veon Bell, like Le'Veon Bell to me represents the last 5 years, the top tier of running backs. And I don't know if he's going to be that this year after a year off. We'll have to find out. Like Zeke Elliott has been in that tier. There's like 3 or 4 guys in that tier. The only thing preventing Dalvin Cook from being on that level is availability.
Health.
If he plays, he's on that level to me. Fight me. Am I wrong? I think if he's on the field 15 or 16 times this year, he's going to look like those guys look in terms of stats. Like he's going to have 1,300 yards rushing. It's just like even just the eye test. Look at how that guy, when there's a hole and that zone blocking scheme is working the way that it's supposed to, there's no indecisiveness. There's no sluggishness. He's gone. He hits the hole. It's 20 yards. It's 80 yards if the hole's big enough. I think he's on that level.
Behind the line of scrimmage, he just hits the hole and goes.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he's on that level, or do I need to pump the brakes?
Oh, I definitely think he can get to that level. With him, what has been the thing we've always talked about for Dalvin Cook for going on 3 years now is health. That's the only thing, Phil, that's held him back. 2017, you remember that first game against the Saints in 2017, that Monday night game, and Dalvin Cook that day in his NFL debut took the league by storm. We saw him and it was like, oh my God, this kid is amazing. And he continued to be amazing in the weeks following, and then the devastating ACL tear against the Lions in week 4. And then it's like, okay, oh my God, this guy's a rising star. Now what? And then, last year was the same thing. It was injuries again that just kept him from being the productive player that he has the capability of being. If he stays healthy, the sky is the limit for this kid. He showed it today. 21 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid has got the goods. It's just a matter of him staying on the field and staying healthy.
Yeah. The Falcons, by the way, I still think people might change their opinions after the way they look today, but that's a team we talk about Thielen and Diggs as 2 of the best, maybe the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL. I mean, you could put Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley right up there as well, and maybe even make a case that because of Julio Jones that they should be the number 1 tandem. That's an offense that churns. That's a team that probably makes the playoffs, or at least is in that mix at 9-7, 10-6, maybe 11-5, even after this week 1 loss. So, like Linda said earlier, you're not playing the Dolphins today. This isn't like the Ravens. Awesome. You put up 59 points. It's great. I think the Ravens are a good team, but this is a real NFC team that you beat and took behind the woodshed today. And I just saw an amazing stat from Hobie Artigue from Fox 9. He went back and researched all of the games the Vikings have played so far at US Bank Stadium. Would you believe that an opposing team has never had a 100-yard receiver at US Bank Stadium? The Vikings defense has never allowed a 100-yard receiver at US Bank Stadium, according to Hobie Artigue from Fox 9. That's ridiculous.
Impressive. So we're talking, 16, 17, 18, that's 24 games. There's 25 games at US Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
In going on year 4 of that stadium now. Never one 100-yard receiver.
And there's been some quarterbacks who've come through that stadium, like Aaron Rodgers, although he only played part of a game last year.
Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Drew Brees has come through this stadium a couple times. Wow.
Never a 100-yard receiver. 651-646-8255. Chad in Colorado, you're on Vent Line with Phil Mackey and Manny Hill.
Guys, thanks. What an excellent game. Oh, my goodness. It's such a 180 from last year. one of the things I was looking at, as they're playing in the third quarter, what a classic drive in the third quarter. Cousins throws that play action for 9 yards. And right after that, QB sneak to behind Bradbury for 2 yards. What a first-round pick. Finally, we're fixing our offensive line. I was still a little bit worried about Reef and the Elf line and a couple of those sacks, but you know what? Can't complain. I mean, they're 100% better than last year. Still some things they got to improve upon, but at the end of last year, I said, Cousins needs to make his reads a lot quicker. I don't know if it was the offensive line or if it was Cousins practicing in the offseason, but he obviously looked a lot better and doing his reads a lot faster than he was last year. So just wanted to say, great job with the Vikings this year. Thank goodness for bringing Kubiak on. It's definitely making a difference. Hopefully they continue. Thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you, Chad in Colorado. Yeah, this was a game where we really didn't get to find out anything about Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about what do I want to learn about Kirk Cousins in 2019 and what do I want him to be better at, none of those things really apply to today's game. I would say primetime games for sure. Good opponents on the road for sure. You're going to get some of this here in the upcoming weeks. I mean, Packers and
Chiefs.
I would say also, if you get into a spot where you're trailing by a couple of touchdowns, is Kirk the type of a guy with this Vikings infrastructure that can bring you back? If you're down by 10 points in the third quarter, is the game over? Can Kirk bring you back? Those are the types of things I want to learn. Today it was such a breeze for him when you get up like that and you just, congrats for throwing a touchdown pass to Adam Thielen. That was great, but the game was over. So there was really nothing to gauge him.